So 1A.4, part 2, create and analyze residual plots with the calculator. All right, so up first, we're going to fill in some blanks. So our first blank that we have, it says so the residual plot graph here shows that I'm going to highlight what you're filling in. Shows the residuals, that's your first blank, for all the points in the given data. Remember, it's going to always be your actual minus your expected. Y'all remember that? Our residual is our actual minus our expected. Okay, if majority of the points are close to the x-axis, this means the regression model is a good model. Do we see where these are going? Everyone sees where we're filling things in at? Yeah? Okay, good. Now, if all points are on the x-axis, the regression model is a perfect model. Okay, so we're going to go through the steps of how to do this with an 84, with TI-84, and then go through the steps of how to do this with the Desmos. Got it? So we're going to start with our calculator. So if you can send one person from your table to go get a calculator for everybody. We learned from yesterday. Mm-hmm. No, a retake is up to you. If you want to retake it, you take it. Yeah. Well, can we talk about that not in the middle class? Okay, thank you. All right, so these are the steps that we're going to follow on the TI-84. I'm going to leave the steps up here on the board for you because you're going to have to switch your page to see the values, okay? Does that make sense? So I'll keep the steps up here, but so you can see your values, or do you want me to put the values up and you look at the steps? Which way do you want to go? Wait, say that again. Do you want me to show the values up here and you keep the steps in front of you, or do you want me to keep the steps and you look at the values? Yeah, put the values up? Okay. Here are the values, and we're going to follow the steps that are on the first page. So here's our data set for number 1, and it says we're going to input the data. So we're going to go, let me open up Sylvie. What should we do before we start doing anything? Clear, and how do I clear? Second plus 712. All right. Calculator is locked and loaded and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and input our values into our L1 and to L2. So we're going to go to Stat, Edit, and we're going to put in our X values in our L1 and our Y values into our L2. I love that we're all intensely focusing on getting these 20 numbers into this calculator. It is a lot faster to type them on the calculator than on here. Ah, fudge sickles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I skipped 5. Dang it. 4. 4.3, 4.7, 5.1, 5.5, and 5.9. Instead of retyping my list all together, I'm just going to add 5 at the end because I really don't want to retype. And that's 3.9. Okay. All right. Do we have all of our values in? So we create our scatter plot. So once we put our values in, we're going to, now we're going to find our regression model. So to find our regression model, we're going to press Stat Calc 4. So Stat, go over to Calc, we're on step 2, and we're going to go down to 4 for Lin regression. Okay, and we're going to hit Enter. Do we remember how to store this? You go down to store, and what am I going to press? Trace. You were almost there. Alpha trace. Alpha trace. And we can click on Y1, and we're going to hit Enter. All right, so now that we've done this, we're going to create our scatter plot. We're going to go to Y equals. And notice that did it put our equation in for us for our Y1? Everyone has that? We're going to arrow up to where it says plot 1. And we're going to turn it on. Okay. Yes. We stored it, and then we went to Y equals to make sure it was forward. And turn on our plot. Alpha. Great. We stored it in 1, Y1, Y1. Enter. Calculate. And then we went to, I don't know why your numbers are so much different. You must have typed something different. So you did the we do instead of the all. So your Y values are different than ours. All right. Are we all at least at this point? Who's not? And why not?
Go here.
So we're following, right? So we'll get the L1 and the L2. Okay, and now we get our regression model. Right, we're gonna do our regression model.
Oh. Oh, I did the we made. Which one are you on?
Sort of guess that. I'm sorry. Trace. Now we'll go to Y equals. Yep. All right. Are we all here? Now we're gonna, so right now we're only using plot 1, right? For the next one, we're gonna have to use plot 2, which is what our next step tells us to do. But because we're not just turning on plot 2, we need to make changes to plot 2. We're gonna press second Y equals. And we're gonna go to 2 for plot 2. And click enter. We're gonna make sure it's turned on, but we're gonna need to turn on our residuals. So we're gonna go down to where it says Y list. And we're gonna turn on our residuals. To do this, you're gonna have to open your residual and you're gonna press, so we're gonna press second, stat, and you see where it says RESID. That's for residual. So we're gonna press 7, and now it's gonna be there.
How do you do the residual?
It's the calculator automatically finding those values for you. We went to Y equals. We turned on plot 1. Yes. We'll do this more. And we turned on plot 1. Now we're on step 4. So if you're following along, we're on step 4. We're on step 4. That's it. At step 4, we're here at the residual. If you are not here at the residual, but someone at your table is, please ask them. That one you're changing plot 2. You're going to get plot 1. Turn on plot 2. And you're going to go down to Violet. Right, you're going to press second, that, and there we go. There you go. All right. That's fine. Who else? Activate this screen on everyone. I did for the other one. Yeah. Are we all at this screen?
Doesn't show it, or
Huh?
doesn't show it.
Show what? Did you run your linear regression? Yeah. You skipped step.
Okay, here.
Thank you. Oh, that's why I didn't show it. And you have a number wrong with the table, by the way. So something in your table isn't wrong.
It's 1 through 10x.
Okay. Your walk, having other things to focus on is distracting, by the way. So where are you at? Step 3 lost that. Regression model. That out 4. And then I said we're gonna store it. That was yesterday, yeah. So we're gonna go alpha trait. We're gonna store it in Y1. Just press 1. And then calculate. You didn't have the word calculate.
But how do you store it
now
again?
calculate. Now it says you're gonna, we're at this side. Okay. All right. We'll go through it again. I'm not sure. You guys do not like productive struggle. Y'all have no bone and no grit. It's killing me. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to problem solve. It is okay to like see your way in the dark. Okay. Don't just stand there. You're more likely to get hurt just standing there, but at least try to find your way through it. Okay. We're on step 6. I just had to pause because everyone wasn't here. So, step 6, and I'm going to run through the things again, but I'm going to finish right where we were at. Step 6, it says we're going to press zoom. Then we're going to go to 9 for zoom stat. We're going to go to 9 on our paper, 9. And it's going to plot everything for us in the perfect window. Okay, so now we have this perfect window. This is like a double hitter of asking, is this a good model for our problem? And the answer is, you do know. You can see 1, just looking at your regression line by itself, does it go through all of your points? Yes, just the regression line on its own tells me that this is a great model, right? Then these are my residual points. And we said in our notes, if it's all points are on the x-axis, it's a what? Perfect model. Are all of my residual points on the x-axis? So is this a good model? Yes, it's actually a perfect model. So we created the scatter plot. We analyzed it. So our scatter plot is increasing. Scatter plot is increasing. I spell increasing. There we go. Our regression equation. So we found our regression equation. I can go back to y equals and see what it is. Our regression model is y equals 4/10 x plus 1 9/10. And when we looked at our graph, the red is our residual. What is our residual doing? Our residual, what does it tell you about your data? So our residual plot, are all are all on the x-axis. And what does that tell us? That this is a perfect model for the data. Okay. All right. So, questions, comments. Again, it's about being willing to follow steps. If you shut down, you'll never put together an IKEA furniture because those steps are brutal and sometimes not even in the language you know. So we learn to be resilient and not break down and not shut down. If everyone could do everything right off the bat and everything came easy, we would all be robots. We'd be the same people. Okay. It's really not. That's boring. Okay. Again, just want to make sure when you're storing, to store, it's going to be, you want to write second alpha trace, and that allows you to store. Okay. So when you're trying to store, make that note that in order for it to store, it's going to be alpha trace, and you choose whichever Y function you want it to be stored in. All right. That's for the TI-84. So that's doing it in the TI-84. Now, if TI-84 isn't your friend and did not work for you, cool. However, I need to model that in case you're a person who's moving into AP statistics next year. You need to be comfortable using the stat window and doing statistical things in your TI-84, okay? Now, if you're not, there's Desmos. And so next we're going to model it with Desmos.